So let's take a look at some of the things that might get in the way of your writing so that we can create a mindset for success. My first question is, if you had time, money, available readers, and these were not a problem, would you write this book? And the reason I ask this is, if all those things were available and this wasn't the right book, why would you write it? You know, we talk about connecting to our heart and making sure that we're writing a book that totally comes from our heart, we intuitively know is right, and finally we use our head to confirm that those things are correct. So if this is not the right book, then please don't write it. Find the right book to write. So do you think writer's block exists? If you're one of those lucky people that doesn't think it exists, then when you're feeling stuck, you're just going to knuckle down and get on with it. However, if you do believe that it exists, then you're probably going to do lots of procrastination and not get on with it. We have unconscious patterns of behaviour. They become our natural way of thinking. They're just a part of us. But because they're a part of us, we are unaware that we have these unconscious patterns. And the key is to start to recognise them so that we can break the pattern. So what we want to do is change our habits. So we know that we've got these repeated patterns of behaviour. And because we've got these repeated patterns of behaviour, they become habits. It's how we code our world. And because of how we code our world, these become our beliefs. They're our truths. They're the things that we believe about us. And that changes the way that we see the world. It changes our perceptions. So what we're looking to do is change some of these things to create that mindset for success. So the first thing to do is make a list of habits, things that you would like to change, and take each habit and write why you would like it to be different. And then choose just one habit to change. Now we know that research shows that if you change a habit over a period of time, then that will become ingrained and that will then become your new habit. Now for you it may take 20 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. I don't know, because you are completely and utterly unique. What I do know is it's easier to take one habit and work on that for a period of time than try to change all of your habits and get into overwhelm and then not actually achieve anything. The other thing that stands in our way is this thing called FUD, fear, uncertainty and doubt. So fear is false evidence appearing real. Now we know that it's important that we have fear for survival. It's absolutely necessary. But my question is do you have a crystal ball? Can you see into the future? Do you know? Because the only certainty is uncertainty. And doubt is about being stuck between a belief and a non-belief. And we want to bust this stuff. There are a number of common beliefs that you may have. Everything must be perfect before I start. You need to ensure that you know everything before you start. Instead of starting, you always think that you need somebody else to help you. You may fear either success or failure, and that paralyses you. And you're a rebel. When you are told that this is the way to do it, you simply rebel. And this one's quite funny, because if you're one of those people that rebel against a process and then you get yourself into a mess, well, obviously you've done it because you're the rebel, but actually it's about learning that sometimes there may be a right way to do something. You don't start because your environment is not right for you. And you believe that writing is easy and forget that it requires motivation, dedication, as well as your writing talent. And I love this quote by Salvador Dali. Have no fear of perfection because you will never reach it. So clearly there is no cure for perfection. So stop procrastinating. So let's look at how we can change each belief so that it sounds gentler and softer, and so that we're not so hard on ourselves. So take each of your beliefs and write something that is gentler. I would prefer that it is perfect. However, we could work on perfection later. Let's just start. And create yourself a procrastination action plan. So instead of saying, oh, this is far too big, I just don't know where to start and I can't do it, Write in small chunks. That's what your outline does for you. It gives you everything in chunks. So don't necessarily start at the beginning, but start somewhere. And even better, get the worst stuff out of the way. And I just want to ask you, what would it cost to put off writing your book? And how will you feel if you don't do it? What happens if you rush to complete it at a later time and do an inferior job? How do you feel about that? So make a list of those excuses and come up with some great ideas how to bust through those procrastinations. Then it's about setting some well-formed outcomes. And we're going to use the PACER model. PACER stands for positive, achievable, context, ecological, realistic and measurable. So make sure your statement is positive and write it as if it were already true. Make sure that what you're doing is achievable. If you want to write 30,000 words in 30 days, then you know that every day for those 30 days you've got to get up an hour earlier and write 1,000 words. So is that actually achievable? Is your outcome, does it fall in the context of what you're trying to achieve? Does it stick to the point of the statement? Is it ecological? Does it create an all-round win-win? Is it realistic? Is it going to help you achieve your vision? And one thing you absolutely must do is make sure it's measurable. So if you're using the writing tracker and you've already worked out what your deadline for various action steps are, you will be able to make sure that you can measure your success. So just keep refining this statement and it feels and looks and sounds like something you really, really want. Close your eyes, make it bigger, bolder and brighter, and absolutely believe that you can do this. So your action plan is to write down all of your excuses and provide yourself with a list of actions to change your behaviours. Set some well-formed outcomes, and even better, find somebody to hold you accountable. Try this really, really powerful productivity tool, and I want you to just trust that it works. It's called the Morning Buzz. And it's called the Morning Buzz because you start the day off writing and it makes you really, really feel good for the rest of the day and highly motivated. So the way to buzz is to turn off all your distractions. Turn off your phone and your Wi-Fi, find somewhere quiet, and if you have to go somewhere else, then do that. Use a timer that is not on your phone or your computer because that's only going to distract you. And be really, really committed to just trying it. And the process works because we're doing this chunking thing again and we're doing it in 1 hour chunks. So decide the night before which section you're going to write. Be prepared, set your timer for 50 minutes and then just write and write and write. Take a 10-minute break and then start again if you have enough time. And please just trust that the process will work. It will work for you. It's not rigid. You do have time. It's just about trusting and trying. And yes, you may well have to get up an hour earlier, and it's only for a short space of time, so just try it. So tomorrow morning, you're going to do your first morning buzz. So what happens if you do actually get stuck and you don't want to write? Well, you can do a number of things. You could blog your book and take that. So what we're basically saying there is once you've outlined your book, you can blog about it and then take all the blogs and then eventually turn it into a book. You could take a workshop and create that and turn it into a book. So taking your outline, workshop it and then book it. You could video and voice record yourself and send it to a transcriber who will write it up. You could do speech to text, so you talk at your computer, it writes it. You may want to enlist the services of a developmental editor, possibly get a ghostwriter to write for you, or use a book coach to help you all the way through your writing and publishing journey. Dragon Naturally Speaking is a great product that I would highly recommend to do the text to speech. So you just sit with a set of headphones on and a microphone and talk into your Word document and it types it all up for you. A process to try is remember your what, why, how and what if. Well, create a presentation for each of your chapters with those and then record yourself presenting and give it to a transcriber. Another process is to ask a friend to interview you. You record it and then transcribe that. Make sure that you do find a place of your own to work. Now, I've worked with people who've been really stuck with their writing, and when I've suggested that they move to a different location, their writing has started to flow. So find something or create something that gives you the right feeling and work out what has to be in your perfect writing spot. Make sure you determine what your priorities are and plan for distractions. It's really important that you get this book written, so you get this stuff out of the way. We've talked about making time, and it is as simple as that. You need to make time to write your book. Don't forget to create your Genius at Work sign and tell others that you are working and that you want some support from them. So your actions: get your environment right, understand your preferred way of writing, understand your skills, capabilities and abilities, and ask for help if you need it, and create your Genius at Work sign, and remember to tell people that you are working and want to be left alone.